Humans of the cardboard, welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Huge reveals and implications tonight. We get our first reveals for the quarter century shiny box. This is an OCG only product, which I know is going to bum a lot of people out because it looks like it may be an absolute banger even if it only has 6 new cards in it, because these cards are lining up to be pretty insane for all 3 of these archetypes involved. But yeah, we get our 2 Orcust cards shown off here, and I think the first thing I realized as soon as I saw them was it's a Link-1, which is insane, and a Link-4, which lines up perfectly with the leaks we saw and we talked about a little over a week ago. So keep that in mind if these effects are the same as the effects we read about a week ago. If you want to check out that video, I'll link it in the description of this one that you can refer back to, and you can watch me go through all of the leaked effects, the supposed leaked effects. If they line up, then we can almost, I don't want to say guarantee, assume, but like we can make some pretty accurate predictions probably that these other 4 cards are going to be exactly what we saw in the leaks as well. So let's jump into this thing, starting off with our new Link-1. It looks just like Galatea, but maybe like a younger Galatea? It's hard to tell. All right, so shout out to Reddit, because it's actually not translated yet on YG.org, so we're running it through Reddit. So shout out to our boy here, Canalvin. Shout out to him. All right, first card here is Galatea 1, the Orcust Automaton. Very cool. So it is a form of Galatea. Link-1 Dark Machine, of course, 0 attack, and it points left, which is interesting to note. No, it points down left at least. Okay, so it still points down. It says, oh, bottom left arrow, sorry. So yeah, still giving you an arrow down, which does matter. So that's nice. Its materials are any one Orcust or World Legacy monster. I wonder, I honestly haven't gone through a ton of the other World Legacy monsters aside from Wand. Wand historically saw a lot of play in Orcust. I don't know if there are any other ones that are like actually relevant, but we'll see. You can only link summon Galatea 1, the Orcust Automaton, once per turn. Cannot be used as XYZ material. That is so that you can not just make ding on a Link-1. That's a little bit too easy, but it's really easy to get to Galatea anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. You can only use the first and second effects of cards with this card's name once per turn. The first effect reads, you can send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard to add 1 World Legacy monster or orchestrated babble from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Oh my golly, it's the same card. The support's really real. This is the same card that we saw in the leaks. All the support is real and crazy. We'll talk about Dragonmaid and P.U.N.K implications a little bit at the end here, but that's insane. So this card on summon, yes, you send a card from hand to grave, but this deck is all about sending cards from hand to grave. Your cards are more valuable in grave a lot of the time in this archetype, so we don't mind that one bit at all. Wow. Okay. It's really good. Also, what this means, what I really like as well, is in the past, Orcust didn't really have a way, unless you hard drew into them, of ending on Crescendo plus Babble at the same time. You kind of had to pick which one you preferred in a certain instance. And now, because this just guarantees you Babble, you can now use Galatea to guarantee you Crescendo and end on both, which really makes the board significantly better for sure. And the second effect of this card is in your graveyard, you can banish 1 other Orcust card from your graveyard to special summon this card. That's so broken, dude. And it just comes back. It's the same card. I knew that was coming, but I still can't believe that they made this card for Orcust. This card helps with consistency. It now makes what's his name? Harpoor. Jeez. It makes Harpoor 1-card combo now when he wasn't before, because you didn't have a Link-1 to like clear him off the field. So now that is another, like that, and now Girsu are 1-card normal summon combos, which is really nice. It means you don't have to worry about supplementing extra consistency cards as much. And it just comes back later as a free material. That's so crazy. You can just do that every turn. That's just once per turn. Dang, I would almost thought that they would only make you able to do 1 per turn, but that's crazy. Searches either field spell or a World Legacy monster, so this can just search Wand as well, which is also important to note. There could be scenarios where you'd rather the extension over the Babble setup, but I feel like Babble more often than not will be the search there. But really, really powerful card. That's insane. We follow up with a new Link-4. This is Mech Knight. Ooh, Mech Knight? Okay, Mech Knight's getting a little inadvertent support here. Let's go. So Mech Knight, Orcust, and Lil Girsu. Link-4 Dark Machine, of course, 2600 attack. It points left, bottom left, top right, and right arrows, which is fine, as long as you have something pointing down. It requires 2+ monsters, including an Orcust Link. Ooh, it does require an Orcust Link, which is a little bit annoying. I wish it was like Orcust or Mech Knight, just so that way, it would have a little better synergy with Mech Knight, but okay, it's not the end of the world. This is super easy for Orcust, obviously. We have the Link-1 that just reborns itself really easily. You could turn any monster into the Link-1. This should be very easy to make. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn. First effect, you can target one of your banished Orcust or World Legacy cards, add it to your hand, then shuffle one card from your hand into the deck. And if you do, take control of one face-up monster your opponent controls. Okay, so a lot going on here. This is the same card we read about as well, so both cards are confirmed to be true from the leaks. The interesting part about this effect is with Babel, specifically. So if we're going through the Link-1, we're probably searching Babel in the first place, which means by the time we make this card, we are making him a quick effect. So we can basically, shuffle one back into the deck, to go ahead and non-target steal an opponent's monster. By the way, this steals an opponent's monster. It does not target. It does not negate the opponent's monster's effects. And it's not even till the end phase. You're just straight up keeping their monster going forward, which is very, very strong. So that could actually make this card legitimately worth playing. Especially since getting the links in rotation is really strong just because of like Symbol Skeleton and stuff. Like just get the links in rotation and then you're able to just reborn full-on boss monsters for like very little cost as the duel goes on. That's one thing Orcust had in its heyday in 2019, 2020, was a very good grind deck. Now its grind has kind of been matched by a lot of the modern day decks, but I think these tools help them out even more while also smoothing out some of their like consistency and even power issues as well. All right, second effect, during your main phase, if this card is in your graveyard because it was sent there from the extra monster zone this turn, you can banish it to send one card on the field to the graveyard. Interesting. So you can choose, so like once you take an opponent's monster with it, you can choose to link it off with the opponent's monster to get like back into Galatea, get another search, keep the ball rolling with the engine. And then you could just trigger this in grave. Assuming you had summoned in EMZ originally, just send a card on the field again, non-target send from the field to the graveyard. That's cool. That's a nice bonus effect. It's not as crazy, right? But yeah, I think it's pretty good. I think that's fine. But yeah, I think it's the first effect. It's mainly a end board piece, but that's something that the deck also didn't have. So now, potentially, are we talking about the deck being able to end with, like, Ding Engrave, Rebornable off of Skeleton, right? That's the first interruption. Crescendo searched off of Galatea. Babel searched off of the Link-1, obviously, and this guy. So you've got like a non-targeting steal, you've got a quick reborn off of Ding for Ding, and even the ability to just keep your engine moving on the opponent's turn, which is really nice. You have the Crescendo to back everything up that really saves your board from board breakers and stuff like that. And I already said Ding, but yeah, Ding as well. Really cool. I think the ceiling has been raised. I think consistency has been raised. The overall smoothness, I guess, like fluidity of the deck is like a word that I try to use at times, and it's hard to really explain, but there are decks that feel clunky. There are decks that feel smooth. Prior Orcust felt really clunky. I think the Link-1 really helps with the clunkiness, like being able to normal summon just any of the low-level Orcust, even if you're bricking on them, or also have a now guaranteed discard outlet for those monsters at the same time is really, really nice. It really helps your weird hands get significantly easier to work with and just flow with the rest of what the deck wants to do. But that's really cool. So ceiling raise, consistency raise, fluidity raise. I love it. Honestly. This Link-1 does almost everything you need. The Link-4, honestly, after Link-1, we could have only got the Link-1. I would have been stoked. The Link-4 is just icing on the cake. It's also potentially a nice end-board tool to add on to everything else, so we will take it. But yeah, man, it's really cool. I really hope Orcust can compete again. And to be fair, like, freaking at the beginning of this year, when Horus was like coming out, we saw Orcust and Harp Horror came off the ban list. We saw Orcust start, like, they topped some regionals. Now they faded really quickly. They got power crept really quickly, but that's what these cards are for, to keep them right on pace with hopefully where the game is now. That's really, really awesome. As far as the other leaks go, I can't pull them up here, but it's important to note. We'll just bring up the artwork here because they just also look really cool. So Dragonmaid basically at this point is probably confirmed, where it's going to get its new main deck dragon form, which is the big dragon form of Chamber. And I believe it was pretty simple. It basically just said, like, you can pitch it from hand to reborn a Dragonmaid monster in grave. Pretty simple, but it does turn the monster searcher. I think Kitchen's the one that searches monsters. She really wasn't even a one card seals before. Geez. But now she's searching a reborn, so now she is a one-card seals, which matters. That's a small thing, but also just like all of the main deck big dragon forms were so subpar, and this one is just actually solid. It's just a good extender, so we'll take that. They also get a crazy new fusion. The fusion's definitely the better of the two pieces because you can make her really easily just by shuffling two Dragon Maids with the same attribute but different levels, I think. So it's like once you get Chamber and rotation with her counterpart, you can just like banish them, I think, to then get the fusion. The fusion on summon summons I think a level 4 lower Dragon Maid from deck, and then the fusion also on standby phase allows you to fuse into your Shao, right? So it kind of gets everything. It really raises the ceiling of the deck. So I think the new dragon form helps consistency and extendability in the main deck, and I think the new fusion allows the deck to just be more powerful and on more powerful setups. Whereas in the past it was kind of like, I'm going to set up spheres plus the trap, and that's what I'm doing. But you just did that over and over again. The deck's really good in the grind game, but this really helps them kind of measure up to modern day speed a little bit. So hopefully that sticks. And then Punk, I'm trying to remember, the Punks are the ones I remember the least well. They have like a new main deck monster. Do they just have two main deck monsters? They have a main deck monster that's like kind of just like an E-Tally. I think it just helps you summon a Punk from the deck. What does the second one do? Because I don't think the second one was a synchro. Oh, the second one was an Exceed. Yeah, the second card was an Exceed monster that you can just overlay on, I think, Punk extra deck monsters. And I think it was like a monster negate, like low key. That card seemed crazy. Like, honestly, I was skeptical when we saw these cards because these cards were like custom. This Link-1 is custom. The Dragonmaid fusion is custom. And the Punk Exceed monster, if it's true and it can just overlay on like any Punk extra deck monster, custom, dude. Like, they're crazy. But I'm here for it because these are archetypes that needed it. These are fan favorite archetypes from the past, and I think they're all in this. I think all three are in the same like range ish. Like, you could argue which one's the best out of the three before the support, but I think they're all in the same ish cluster of like decks that are like, they have a lot of pieces. They just need like, if you capitalize on two cards, clearly a lot of archetypes, you can take two cards, and if they're this level of good, those decks can jump back into competitive play. And I think that's what we might see here for all three. It may be more rogue for one or two of them, but I think one, maybe two of them will also have a chance to maybe even climb into high tier competitive play again, which is really, really hype. But that could be a whole nother discussion. I might do a whole separate video talking about like, oh my god, they're real. Like, can we get more in depth on it? But crazy reveals. Support's confirmed, man. Really crazy. I'll still bring you a video when they actually reveal and release the Punks and the Dragon Maids. But awesome. It's a really cool product, and I'm really happy that they're executing well on it. If you're only going to have 6 new cards in a product like this, make them bangers, and that's what they're doing, because we've seen this in the past for the last couple of years. Not bangers, really, for the most part. And they're finally coming around, and I think this might lead to this product selling way better, and hopefully that means every year when they do this product, they pick the 3 archetypes, and they actually make them nuts support, and that'd be ideal. So there you go. I'm out of here for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, as always. Subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date on all things Yu-Gi-Oh! News going forward and other Yu-Gi-Oh! Stuff on the channel as well. But I'm out of here for tonight. Thanks for watching. Peace.